You're listening to the Purdy Girl Podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Kelly Purdy. My mission is to connect military spouses, fiancés, girlfriends, and booty calls worldwide. So let's do this. Welcome to today's podcast. I've been listening to a little bit too much Dax Shepard because that's how he does his podcast intro. Welcome. Loving his podcast, by the way. Most of the topics on there are pretty interesante. I hope you all had an amazing weekend. We had the Ranger Ball on Saturday night. I realize that each ball we go to, we get more and more lame. We called it a night at 9 p.m. We had a really good time, though. I love getting dressed up and getting to meet people that B works with. It's pretty fun. I remember one of the military balls I went to, I was a part of some military spouse page. This was back in Washington. And there was this sweetie asking a question. The ball was coming up and she was really nervous about just meeting, I guess, her husband's boss, any of the higher ranking individuals. And bless her heart, I'm just so not this way. So I just found this to be extremely funny. But she was all sorts of concerned about how to react when she meets these guys, these individuals that are higher ranking. And she asked, so what's the protocol when I meet so-and-so? I'm like, the protocol is you be a normal person, shake their hand, say hello. But I so badly wanted to reply, well, it's a little bit different here. Actually, when you meet these certain individuals, you actually have to bow. It's just what we do here. I know it's going to be uncomfortable, but I wanted to mess with her so bad. I didn't. But how funny would that be to I mean, it wouldn't be funny if it happened to me, but I thought about it. You have to bow and kiss their hand. It's just what we do here. So, people get all sorts of freaked out, but I'm like, just be normal. Do you know how to have a conversation with another person? I don't know. It's just shake their hand, make eye contact, say hello. It's not rocket science. But anyway, we had a good time. There's definitely a point, after dinner, after the guest speaker and the music starts popping and people have definitely had maybe 5 or 6 drinks, the conversation just starts to turn a little bit. And I'm like, I'm way too freaking sober for this shit. Both B and myself. We were boring. I was a little jealous. I definitely wanted some wine and it looked like people were having a grand old time. But as soon as people started doing striptease dancing on chairs in the middle of the dance floor, I was like, yeah, I'm good. We can go. And B is sober too right now since his head is still healing. If you missed last week, I just explained that B freaking split his head open at work and needed 22 staples. And he lost a ton of blood, and we're guessing it'll take about 2 months to get it all back and reproduce his blood count, I guess, and energy levels getting back to normal. It's been this whole thing, so we're just really taking it easy. He did have a little bit of wine, but definitely we're not on the same level as everyone else there. I feel bad for the guy because it's he already doesn't love social situations, and to be sober on top of that, torture. I'll be honest though, very transparent because that's how I roll, but I miss drinking. I'm not the kind of person that's all, I don't even think about it anymore. I think about it all the time. I do for sure, especially at military functions. Like, I love a little social lubrication when I'm with people that I don't know very well. That being said, I'm glad I'm taking this year break. I actually wrote a post about it on Saturday, recognizing the fact that not drinking really helped get me out of debt. And it's not just about the fact that we were spending close to like 75, 80 bucks ish a week, and we've saved almost $3,000 by cutting back. Actually, well, me cutting it out. It's more about the clarity and added energy and resourcefulness that inevitably came. I don't know if I would have started training friends out of my garage or prepping people's food and charging them $5 a meal for me to make healthy food for them. I don't know if I would have started this podcast or even been brave enough to reach out to potential sponsors and start this new venture. Like, a deeper part of me knows that I've leveled up in a big way that I never would have been able to had I kept drinking the way that I was. It's tricky though, you know? A big part of me thought, well, if I take this year break, what does that mean? Like, I need to have meaning behind everything I do. Like, what is that saying about me? Does it mean that I have a problem? And what would it mean if I can't do it? That was a scary one for me because that was a big possibility. I mean, so many times I was like, all right, Ash, you are not drinking until the weekend. I would make it till the end of the day. And then I would pour a glass of wine. It's like, there's a high chance that I'm not going to be able to do this. And I have people in my life that I love saying, Ash, if you decide to cut it short, no one will think less of you. That makes it so freaking tough. Like, okay, there's my out. There's my loophole. She just gave me permission. Pour me some champagne. But then I remind myself, sometimes it's not about the alcohol. Sometimes it's just about keeping the promises you make to yourself. I think to myself, how can others trust me if I can't even trust me? I don't want to be the kind of woman that goes back on what she says. So this time of year, I think about the new year coming up and what I want to work on and focus on. I know, I hear all of you guys out there listening saying, Ashley, stop. I'm just trying to freaking partay over here and eat all of the peanut brittle and drink all of the mimosas. I get it. I was that way. I didn't want to worry about goals until January. Like, don't even talk to me about goals right now. Then I remember who listens to this podcast. You guys are a bunch of goal digging babes. I actually want to be both. I want to be a goal digging babe who parties hard. So that's what I'm working on. So what's it going to be for you this upcoming year? What could you cut out that's holding you back? Maybe it's alcohol. I did have some people write, well, I don't drink. Okay, good for you, Linda. Find something else that you could cut out. I bet you could cut out the Diet Coke and McDonald's that you get every single day. Just kidding. You guys, I woke up kind of feisty this morning. I'm not really sure why, but don't test me. But for real though, maybe it is McDonald's. Maybe it's processed sugar. Maybe it's fast food. Maybe it's pot. Maybe you smoke too much pot, girl. Like, I think every once in a while is just fine. But if it's a habitual activity, I don't know. Maybe you should look inward about that. What are you trying to numb out? What are you trying to numb out with social media? Scroll. Freaking stop. That bugs me so bad when I look over and B is just chilling, scrolling his life away. Like, want to take his phone and throw it out the window. And I tell him to make me stop doing it too. If he looks over and I'm just mindlessly scrolling, like, that is an addiction for sure. It's something I actively work on because Like, I like social media, but I'm very intentional, or at least try to be, with my social media consumption. Like, there are a few accounts that I follow, and I don't want to just scroll my life away. Something to look at. But maybe you want to take this approach. Instead of cutting things out, because I get it. Like, I went through a phase where I'm like, I don't want to cut anything out. I want to focus on adding good habits, good food, more water, more movement. I wanted to focus on adding things to my schedule, to my life, because inevitably the stuff that's not really serving me will fall by the wayside. It just depends on where you're at in your life. Because here's the thing, I tried that with alcohol. I tried that thinking, oh, I'm going to drink a butt ton of water. I'm going to make sure that I have water in between each glass of wine, which I did really well at, but I still drank a ton of wine. So it's like, didn't really work for me. I knew internally, like, my gut tells me what I need. And I don't know if you guys are that same way. I don't know if that's something that everybody has, but I always know what I need. And I'll deny it till the cows come home. I will push that down so hard, especially if it's something like alcohol that I love. Like, I think it's so much fun to go take shots of tequila and sing karaoke. I don't know why, but that is just so much fun to me. Or having a bottle of wine with girlfriends. I love that. I feel like it's a good way to connect, help people to bring their guards down a little bit. It's not always necessary, which I have found, but it's just a part of life that I do enjoy. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that it becomes an issue when it's an issue, when it's something that, all of a sudden it's kind of controlling my life. Bring it back, cut it out. Let's take a good look at this. And that's kind of what I did. But there's a good chance that that's not your story. So maybe you want to take the approach of adding to your life, and perhaps it would cancel the stuff that drains your energy. So adding more water, adding more greens, adding more books, adding more time with your family. The trick is following what you know to be right in your gut. So like I said, I knew mine was drinking for a long time. Cutting that one thing helped my finances, obviously. It helped my relationship to food. It helped my marriage. We would get in the dumbest fights when I was tipsy. Like, I would just, something that doesn't normally bother me, all of a sudden, I was pissed. It helped my fitness. I'm getting faster and faster and stronger. And I think it might be because I cut back the booze. It's helped my creativity. I think of the aphorism, a rising tide lifts all the boats. So when you're adding one thing, all of a sudden other things in your life are rising and improving. How awesome is that? So what's yours going to be? I challenge you to just be still with yourself. Take some quiet time and ask yourself, what would be the one thing that you could change in this upcoming year to improve the rest of your life? And you'll feel it. You'll feel it in your gut. And oftentimes it's the thing you want to do the least. You'll have some resistance around it, but take control of your life. You can freaking do this. And it might be challenging, but hey, life's challenging. So make it the best year ever. I'm sending you guys lots of love. Thank you so much for tuning in this beautiful Monday. I'm going to get started on my day. I'm meeting up with a friend for coffee, which I'm so excited about. I need some girlfriend time. I need to get out of my house because I am feisty AF. So love you guys. Have the best week. I will check back in with you on Wednesday. Thank you for listening to Purdy Girl Podcast. If you have a second, please rate and review and share this podcast with somebody you think would love it. See you next week.